forelimb staff pose. Here's some exercises to help us move through this position, this asana pose, with safety for our shoulders and our bodies. So these are some exercises I think help us design to increase our strength and ability to perform this pose with safety. And it feels really great once you get it down. So with forelimb staff pose or chaturanga, we use shoulders, abdominal core, body, and of course balance on the four limbs. So let's talk about the shoulders real quick, and then we'll do a couple of exercises that can help you build for this pose. When we talk about the shoulders, we also include the shoulder blades, right? All of the shoulder. And you'll hear a lot of times in class we say, rest the shoulders down away from the ears. And so if we think about the shoulders moving from the blades, the scapula, then we think about that we can move the shoulders up, the shoulders come up and the blades move up, or we can move them down the spine, right? And then we do a lot of, in yoga, we do protraction, where the shoulder blades fan out, like so, and retraction, where the shoulder blades draw back and hug in towards the spine. A lot of times what we say is to hug the shoulder blades gently in towards the spine, that's retraction, and then lower the shoulders down away from the ears. But there are times that we use protraction, and one of those times where that's reached into can be in child's pose and in the forelimb staff pose, right? Plank pose. So, and we're using a whole bunch of combination of this. All right, and we move them around even within poses, like say downward facing dog. You can play with drawing the shoulders up and then relaxing them down, fanning them out, drawing them in. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is take a block or a book, and you're gonna sit with your hips over your heels, hips over heels. If that's uncomfortable, you can sit on your bum with your legs straight out in front of you, like in seated staff pose, seated dandasana. All right, but for this, and I'm gonna sit up this way. All right, so for this exercise, this helps us draw some shoulder strength, as well as understanding a little bit more how we can move our own shoulders. So you take a block, palms hold the block this way, or a book if you don't have a block. Fingers face forward, and hold the block straight out from you. And then what you want to do is push your fingertips from the shoulders forward. Reach to the front wall. Reach to the front wall. Press in gently with the palms of the hands, and then draw the shoulders straight back. And relax the shoulders down. And you're gonna breathe here 3 to 5 breaths. While you're breathing, draw the core body in. Engage. It can be nice to use Ujjayi Pranayam. So we're gently hugging the block in between the palms of the hand, and then drawing the shoulders back even as we reach energy forward, and core body is engaged. Several breaths. Soft gaze. You can even practice a drishti as you do this exercise. And after a few breaths, then just lift the block about 2 inches up to the nose or level of the eyes. And you want to re-engage by pressing the palms, pressing and hugging the block in. First, reach the fingertips forward, draw the core body, and then draw the shoulders straight back. And then 5 to 10 breaths. after those few breaths, lift the block again about 2 inches. Draw the shoulders back, engage the core body. Top of the shoulders relax down, right? So that means even though we're retracting the shoulder blades back onto the back, hugging them in towards the spine, the top of the shoulders are not reaching up here, they're relaxing down. You'll begin to feel this after a few breaths. Good. And then raise the block 2 more inches. You can lift the gaze. Draw the shoulders straight back. Core body engages. Nice. And then take the block straight up overhead. Reach through the fingertips, feel the shoulder blades, they go up, shoulders lift towards the ears, then draw them straight down. Hug the block in between the palms, engage the core body. Five to 10 breaths, and then after those few breaths, release the block down, shake the arms out. Reach the left arm straight out ahead of you, and then take the arm across the body. Right arm gently hugs the arm in, the left arm in. Let that left shoulder kind of drop down and relax, and then drop the right ear over to the right shoulder. It could be nice to tip the chin down a couple of breaths. Still the right ear is laying over down towards the right shoulder, but you can just tip the chin. Maybe then after a couple of breaths there, come back through center and tip the chin up. You'll find different places working into that shoulder, top of the shoulder, and the side of the neck. Then inhale, lift the head, release the arms and shake it out. And we take that stretch on the other side. Right arm comes across the body, left arm hugs the right arm in. Drop the right shoulder down gently, and then take the left ear over to the left shoulder. You can close your eyes here, or they can open, but we're letting breath, time, and gravity just work into this nice stretch. And of course, if you want to tip the chin down, you'll feel the stretch move a little into a different place. Or tip the chin up. Good, and then inhale the head up, release the arms and shake it out. Okay, so that's one nice exercise, and then stretching. Yeah, what we're gonna do now is come down into table. So come on to all fours. Knees want to be right under the hips or slightly behind the hips, but hip width distance apart. Wrists want to be right under the shoulders. Fingers spread wide. And so we want to stack shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers spread wide. And then you've rooted your palms down and act as if you're turning jar lids off. You know, jar lids, it's a counterclockwise turn. No, excuse me, clockwise with the right hand, counterclockwise with the left. So you've rooted down. I think the easiest way to think of it is thumbs turn to the outside edge of the mat. The hands don't move, but notice how this draws the elbows in towards the midline just a little bit. And then what we want to do is lift the core body. So draw the core body up really strong. lift up. So no sagging down, lifting up strong, core body, rooting down. On an exhale, shift the shoulders forward and lower the upper body, dialing the elbows in towards the rib cage. Then on your inhale, press back up and come back to center. So this is our next exercise, building nice shoulder placement, strength and core body, working our way towards four-limbed staff pose and lowering down through that pose. Okay, so in table, rooting down, gently dialing the thumbs to the outside edge of the mat. This brings the elbows softly in. Don't crank too hard. Draw the core body up, belly button and ribs lifting up towards the spine. On an exhale, shift the shoulders forward. Lower the elbows, hug in right towards the ribs. And then on an inhale, press back up and come to center. And so when you're practicing this at home, you know, much like push-ups or anything else that you're building up to, just do 3 or 4 or 5. Right? In time you might get a little deeper. Good. So, and then sit back and give yourself a break. Roll the wrists out. This also can be wrist strengthening because we're shifting the shoulders forward past the ribs. So taking the wrists a little past the 90-degree angle. You can go slow with this. If you're newer to your practice and going, you know, you don't have to crank the shoulders too far forward. Gather the core body. It could be just a little bit. And lower halfway, but elbows aiming towards the ribs. Lift the core body. Breathe. Press back up. So again, this can be a lovely thing to do when you're just spending some time at home and you want to strengthen your Chaturanga Dandasana. All right, the next thing we're going to do is, once you've done a few of that and you feel strong in the table position, come back to table and then step back into plank. Step back to plank. We're going to practice from plank. All right, if it feels too complicated to go right from plank, get yourself in your plank pose. Lower the knees. They'll be further back than in table, and see the spine stays long, and draw the core body in. Shift the shoulders, you'll shift the shoulders forward first, then lower the knees, and then dial down. Long spine, core body lifts, and press back up. From there, you could press hips back to heels and press up into downward facing dog. Come back, inhale the knees to the mat. All right? So, let's do that one more time. To be clear on the information, you want to tuck the toes, step back into plank, gather the core body, take a big inhale in. On the exhale, just shift the shoulders forward slightly, lower the knees, and then lower the upper body with a long spine, hugging the elbows in towards the ribs, and then press back up and exhale back to child's pose. Take a rest. Inhale back up to table, tuck the toes and step back into your plank pose. Breathe a couple of breaths. Take a big inhale in. Lift the core body, and as you exhale, shift the shoulders forward, knees come down, and lower the upper body. The fingers can grip down into the mat like you're gripping the earth. Inhale back up, and then press back to release. Roll the wrists out, wiggle the fingers. So we systematically are working from table, then plank, knees and upper body, but keeping the spine and core body really strong, and a nice shoulder alignment. So a lot of people really emphasize elbow over wrist when they lower through Chaturanga. They like to say don't press the elbows back. This actually, if you just think, I think more about taking the shoulders forward, pressing from the toes forward, knees lower, and then dialing the elbows in, and then naturally the elbows don't move too much further away from the wrists, right? And take a break. And so that could just be the level of your practice for the next few days, every other day. Do it a couple of times. Roll the wrists out. Don't work to, you want to work to some fatigue, but not work to pain, right? So when you first start, it's this fine balance of finding like, how much is enough to build some strength, and strength sometimes does offer a mild discomfort, but not to pain. And then if you go to practice the next time, but you do feel it's painful, then it's not time to practice yet. Maybe you need to wait just a little bit longer. Okay, next one would be practicing through chaturanga without taking the knees down. So many of us, though, don't understand the amount of core body strength it takes to lift the upper body, lift the mid body, even as you lower down through the four limbs. So this is a great exercise to help us understand that. Take your block and you're going to place it under your hip points and rest your body down, like you're going to come down on your belly, but we're taking the block right under the hip points. Legs behind us, and you can come down on the elbows while you get established. Tuck your toes under and lift the knees. So you can see my hips are resting down on the block and I have my elbows down. And so helping us understand the amount of core body strength it takes. What you're going to do is root through the toes and the elbows, but use the core body to lift the core off the block. And breathe. Yeah, so this is much like our plank and half plank, which we know helps build core body strength. And this is just another approach to it that really helps us understand what we need to get the body away from the ground as we lower through the four limbs. So you'll breathe here, several breaths, and then you can relax down. All right. The next place from there, when you've done that a bit, is to take your hands under the shoulders, right? Maybe you come forward a little bit more. Because in Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows are right alongside the ribs. Gather the core body. So you're going from the hands now instead of the elbows. And then you just lift from the core body. Your feet and hands are rooted down. You just want to lift from the core body. Rooting into the earth, lift the core body. And breathe. And then, when you want to break from there, you can just press up into upward facing dog. If that feels good. Or come back to the knees and press back to child's pose. Right? Nice. Those are some exercises. It gets you to this place. You can put it all together. Plank, strong core, lifting up through the mid-body even as we lower down. Take a big inhale in. Exhale, shift the shoulders forward, softly lower. Elbows right alongside the ribs. Inhale. Upward facing dog, heart center draws through and up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, knees to the floor. But of course there's, we're all building our strength at different levels. So that's why a lot of times in our flow classes, the first instruction we give is to exhale, forward, lift, and then knees come down and upper body, but keep it strong because this will help build your practice. And then inhaling up into cobra. Exhale, gather the core body, press the hips back, and then up, downward facing dog. Namaste.